Hello everyone, I welcome you all to class 12 CBSE 2020 exam solutions, and in this video we are going to look at English core paper, specifically set 3. So I'm sure each one of you is eager to look at the solutions of the paper that you solved this year. And with this particular video, you will be able to learn not just the prompted solutions but also the marking scheme of how exactly an examiner is going to fare you in your solution. So let's start with the solutions without any further delay. Now the first question that we have is a reading comprehension section, the very first section in your paper. In this question you have a passage. Along with the passage you have series of questions. As far as the marking scheme is concerned, this entire section is going to give you 12 marks, but the questions are further subdivided into categories. For example, the very first question based on the first passage carries a series of questions, each carrying 1 mark. So you have a set of 6 questions. It clearly says on the basis of your understanding of the above passage, answer any 5 of the following questions by choosing the most appropriate option. So these are multiple choice questions. You have fairly read the passage, understood the main idea. Based on the factual information presented, you just have to choose the correct answer from the given questions. Let's start with the first one. The first one says the first green corridor in India was created in dash. Now if I only look at the first question and to understand the answer, I need to go back to the exact para that it's picking up information from. Now that para is para number 3. So when you pick paragraph 3 and you read the very first part of it, it says the first green corridor in India was created by Chennai Traffic Police in September 2008. So I have picked up my information that I require to verify based on the given 4 options here. Clearly my answer should be option number 2, Chennai. Moving on, question number B says the organization which is framing a proposal to airlift cadaver organs is. Now specifically this particular information comes in the passage in paragraph number 5. If you read the middle part, it says National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization NATO, the country's apex organ donation agency, is now framing a proposal to airlift cadaver organs and will send a report to the Union Health Ministry. Because the full form is clearly laid out, the question is a direct factual question. Thus, the answer becomes as simple as option number 3, the exact name of the organization, National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. Moving on, question number C says the onerous task the author is talking about in para 1 is. Now remember, the onerous task is an exact phrase that has been picked up. If I pick up paragraph 1 and I read it carefully, it mentions that once an organ donor's family gives its consent and the organs are matched to a recipient, medical professionals are faced with the onerous challenge of transporting organs while ensuring that the harvested organ reaches its destination in the shortest possible time. So this is the challenge that you need to pick from the options. If I read the options carefully, I can clearly sort that out, that the entire particular correct answer should be option number 3, to carry the harvested organ in the shortest possible time. Now, question number D says most of the people do not go for the heart transplant as. Now, because the reason is being asked here, which paragraph am I supposed to go back to in order to confirm the reason? I simply have to look at paragraph number 7, which talks about the cost of this transplant. It clearly says that in a private setup, a heart transplant costs 15 to 20 lakhs, which is followed up by post-operative medication of about 30,000 per month lifelong. So because this information is laid out, now you compare the options. Which option talks about the costing of the transplant? Clearly, option number 4, the cost is prohibitive in nature because it's too much money for people to bear. Next question says most states refer organ transplant cases to big hospitals because. Now because the reason is being asked, you need to pick the exact causal entity which is clearly laid out in paragraph number 6. So when you read the paragraph carefully. It says that most states do not have enough well-trained experts to retrieve or perform transplant procedures. Which option gives me this exact information? Clearly, it is written in option number 1 that they do not have well-trained experts, and hence option number 1 becomes the most appropriate answer. Moving on, question number F says heart retrieved from a body is alive only for dash hours. Now this was precisely written in paragraph number 2, where you reach towards the end of the para and see the information that organs tend to have a very short preservation time, such as the heart, which has to be harvested and transplanted within 4 hours, or the lungs, which can be preserved for only 6 hours once they are harvested. Since the question is only asking for information of heart, my answer is clearly laid out in option number 3, which is 4 hours. Now we have the next set of questions. Answer the following questions briefly. Again, the marking scheme is laid out as 1 mark for each correct answer, which means if you write it in 10 to 20, maximum 30 words, your answer should be complete. Let's look at the first question. What is a green corridor? It's clearly written in the beginning portion of para 2 itself. The traditional method of transporting organs by road is referred as green corridor. All I have to do is pick this information and write that as the answer. Green corridor is a traditional method of transporting organs by road. Next, question number B says, why is smooth transportation of retrieved organs necessary? Again, if you go back to para 2, the necessary part of this is highlighted in the ending of the para, that if these harvested organs are not transported within the shortest possible time, that's when they lose those organs. So if I go back to my question, why is smooth transportation necessary? I can simply pick that information because they tend to have a very short preservation time. Then question number C says, what opinion do you form of Chennai police with regard to transportation of a harvested heart? Remember in para 3 where you were talking about the contribution of Chennai police, it says that Chennai traffic police was the first one to establish a green corridor, accomplish their task of enabling an ambulance to reach its destination within 11 minutes during peak hour of traffic. So when you pick this information, you can easily write the answer as Chennai police took the initiative of creating a green corridor to enable steady transport of harvested organs, which reflects their efficiency. Then question number D says, what does the author mean by a few golden hours? Now when I go back to para 5 and I pick this exact information which was given, you have how cadaver organs have a short life, and so transplant should be done within a few golden hours. Now when I pick this information and I go back to my question, you are asked what does the author mean by few golden hours. So you can simply write it as by few golden hours, author means the crucial time available for transplant of the organ after harvesting it, because then it is getting spoiled if you do not transport it within the stipulated time. Next we have question number E asking how much does a heart transplant cost a patient in a private hospital? Clearly a factual question. Easily the answer was written in paragraph number 7 towards the end. In a private setup, a heart transplant costs 15 to 20 lakhs. Easily written as the final answer. With this, you come to the last part of the passage, which says pick out the words from the passage which mean the same as following. For each correct answer, you get 1 mark, a total of 2, thereby completing the 12 mark section. The first word that you have is save. When you read para 1 carefully and you read it towards the end, you have a sentence which says this is done in order to preserve the harvested organs, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're saving these organs. Therefore, the answer becomes preserve. And question number B says achieved or carried out from para 3. So when I go to para 3 and I read the part which says that Chennai Traffic Police in September 2008, when they accomplished their task of enabling an ambulance to reach its destination within 11 minutes. This is what they achieved, this is what they carried out, and hence the correct answer should be accomplished. With this, we come to the end of question number 1. I hope this was satisfactory. Let's proceed to the solution of question number 2.